With this test prep playbook, you are going to be able to learn how Kami can support your students with the upcoming state tests. There are different parts over on the side part of this test prep playbook. The first part is going to go over the different types of questions. And if you click here, it's going to take you to a page where it's going to explain kind of how these test questions can support you using Kami. Then there's a place for you to actually try it. There's also a video here to support you with creating or using or teaching your students how to use technology to support their questions that might come about when they're practicing for that upcoming state test. So again, there's a ton of different types of questions that you can use with Kami, with videos, with a place for you to actually try out how this might work in your own classroom. Next part is split and merge, where you're able to take practice tests. So for example, I've got this Ohio State practice test right here. I can choose whichever test I would like to practice with. So let's go ahead and pick social studies. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this test right here. And what I can do is I can hit open with Kami. So once I open this with Kami, you'll notice that there's like a bunch of different pages that I might not need for my students. So if I come up here to this little icon, which has the split and merge. So again, the toolbox, split and merge. What you can do with split and merge is you can either split documents apart or merge them together. So I'm going to go ahead and continue, and I'm going to hit next. I could add additional resources from the Kami library, my drive, if I had notes or I wanted my students to complete a graphic organizer. But right here, what I can do is I can delete these pages. And then what I can also do is I can say, okay, I want to just do those two on day one, these two on another day. I don't need that page. This one has the answers, so I can delete it or whatever I need to do. And you're able to split those pages across. And then when you're ready, you can have them open right into Kami and then assign it to your learning management system. So if you use Google Classroom, Canvas, Microsoft Teams, or even Schoology, you can have your students practice these type of test questions using your learning management system. So once that is in there, you can have class view and you're able to see how your students are doing on those different assignments. The next thing is we are going to go ahead and view on our playbook how we might use this with update work. This can be a great way where you can have your students answer a certain question. After they answer a question, you're able to come in and hit update all. Once you hit update all, you can have them view the correct answer, reflect, how did I get that correct or did I get it wrong? And then if they did solve it correctly, where did they make the mistake? So how did they solve it correctly? They're now explaining their thoughts and ideas with update work. And if you're not familiar with update work in Google Classroom, what you're able to do is you are able to go in and you are able to choose any assignment and hit edit assignment. Once you click edit assignment, this is where you're able to add in, maybe for example, I'm going to remove this star. And I'm going to hit update all. So I could work out the problem, explain how I solved it with the class up on my interactive whiteboard, hit update all, update. And now when I go into class view, every single student is going to have that star removed from their page. So again, update all can be a great way for you to send out to your students important information into their learning. Another way that you can work with your students is by group work. And this is where you can have your students have a problem. So again, maybe using split and merge, you pick one problem a day. They work with their group and they each solve it first by themselves. So in their 1, 2, 3, 4, they solve it all by themselves. Then they come together and you'll set a timer where they talk and they explain how each of them solved it. And then they can explain the best answer that they got. Maybe they liked how partner 1, it really explained certain parts. Maybe they 2 and 3 got a different answer. They're able to work out and talk about those pieces. There's also feature controls where you're able to turn off different features, such as maybe the read aloud. A lot of ELA tests do not allow students to have that accommodation. And so if that's the case, you can start to turn that off so your students can practice without having that scaffold there to support their learning. So feature controls can be a great way for you to turn on and off different tools that mimic that state test. And there's also an annotation bank. This can be a great way for you to insert misconceptions or provide extensions to your students. And again, there's a bunch of different resources on this activity. You can also grab a copy of this. It's a Google slide, and you can maybe have your students practice the different types. So feel free to edit this for a student version to send out to your students as well.